Hello, everyone. Mark here, Mark's Max Muscle, and we have a very interesting three-way comparison for you fellers and fellasses today. Martin Fitzwater, Andrew Jacked, Behrooz Tabani. Wow. All three of these guys are headed into the Olympia event. And if I had to guess, I'm going to go ahead and say all three of these guys will more than likely be in that second call-out situation. Now, of course, you could throw in other names. Tonio Burton, Hunter Labrada, Rafael Brandao, of course. But I have a feeling that these three dudes are going to excel this year at the Olympia and be, put side by side. And the judges are going to have to vote for these guys, but you know what's funny? You take a look at these three dudes, and then you look at the first call out at the Olympia. Anyway, three similar type physiques as the first call out at the Mr. Olympia event. I find that quite interesting indeed. But anyway, go to the first pose here, front double bicep pose. And this is the Detroit Pro. This is the last winning versions of all these guys. Behrooz Tabani, he did pick up another win, but this is his latest win. The Dubai and the Texas, of course, for Jacked. Guys, Jacked is beating everybody in the IFBB today in this front double bicep pose. So there is just no way that Behrooz or Martin Fitzwater are as good as they look. Just no way that they're going to touch this guy. Incredible. Now, Behrooz versus Martin, that is a matchup. When it comes to Jacked, he's either going to destroy these guys or his structure is going to be a disadvantage in certain shots. Now, between Behrooz and Martin, wow. Judges are going to have their hands full. I'd go with Behrooz in the first shot. And you go to the second one. Did I say onion there? You go to the second one, and I would actually give an edge to Martin Fitzwater. Obviously, he's not winning this one. You don't even have to mention Jacked. You could put him off to the side. Best of all time in the front lat spread. But hold on a second. Wait till you get to the other shots. I think his structure is going to be at a disadvantage. It's an advantage here for sure. Now, Martin, his lats are filled out maybe a little bit more. I don't know. The more I look at Behrooz, the better he looks. Look at that. Separation in the abs and all. So he is beating Martin on that aspect. But Martin, he has a better set of quads. Some of the better quads that you're ever going to see. Phil Heath, luxurious gray big quads. Look at the pecs on Andrew Jacked. I know we said we weren't going to mention him, but jeez Louise, is he beating them other guys up. Bad. But then you go and spoil it all by turning to the side and exposing Andrew. Yes, his chest should be a lot bigger than the other guys. But you take a look at Behrooz Tabani. He's way bigger in the chest and a smaller structure. And look at the wheels on Behrooz. Very dangerous. I made Martin. Sizing's a little bit of an issue here. Martin is shorter than Behrooz, but why did you make him taller than Behrooz here? Why? Yeah. Holding his legs straighter. Definitely holding his legs straighter. And his upper body, that's pretty good too. It's actually a little battle between Behrooz and Martin Fitzwater. You could give it to Martin based on the execution of the strike. You see that? He's like a square up top, and then it goes down just right at the hip, the top of the hip. Just perfect. But you're probably going to go with Behrooz for the win in that. Give Jacked third. With no disrespect. Side tricep. Is Jacked getting an easy third in these? Looks good at first hand. When you first see him, his midsection should be more peeled. I've seen it more peeled than that. And his wheel, hey, Martin Fitzwater, the way he has displayed his lag, I prefer the way he was hitting the side chest for sure. So not the best. In all three cases, not the best side tricep. I think mechanically here, The condition-wise, Behrooz Tabani is your easy answer. So this guy here, and I never threw in Bonac, I never threw in, gosh darn it, Nathan Diasha. Nathan probably won't even make it to the Olympia anyway. But I believe that Behrooz, out of all those matchups that they had, he reigns supreme. So I think he's going to have the psychological and the judge's edge going into the Olympia over all those guys. And I don't know if those other guys are going to get past Martin and Jacked. Jeez Louise. Then you got Hunter Labrada to consider. Let's go to the back shots. And if Hunter Labrada, he does qualify. He hasn't even qualified yet. That's why I didn't throw him in here. Martin Fitzwater looks like he is a shoe-in for a win in this one. Condition counts more. If you're new to bodybuilding, you're thinking, well, no, Andrew Jacked, he's winning. You see those little thin skin glutes, the hamstrings, you can see right through the skin. Even on Behrooz Tabani, he is quite conditioned. He doesn't have that separation that Martin Fitzwater does, and neither does Jacked. He is pretty conditioned. But I don't think he is the level of condition. You watch some video footage, and we haven't seen these guys. Well, actually, we have seen Andrew Jacked and Martin Fitzwater side by side video footage, and it was obvious, the condition edge. It is the size that Andrew Jacked needs to use, but I just don't think it's going to be enough to defeat either of the other two guys. And food for thought, I kind of like Martin in this one. Here's the rear double. Here is the rear double, both arms, Louis. And yes, G-Dot, he is big. He is really big, is Andrew Jacked. But, it looks like certain bodybuilders, before the event, there's just a little layer of human skin. You need to thin it out even more, and then he will be flattening these guys with that big structure. And the arms, actually, Jacked, he's pretty impressive in this shot, but the conditioning is just going to be too much. Now, in the rear double, I kind of like Behrooz Tabani over Martin Fitzwater. But then I went back and I looked at the rear lat again, and I'm thinking, well, Behrooz is kind of better on the rear lat than Martin. And it's a toss-up in both, I think, both the back shots. So it's going to actually be an interesting matchup between those two fellers. And that's kind of the same thing when the top three at the Olympia as well. I guess you could say that. Interesting. Here's the abs and thigh. And actually a matchup here. You know, you can't just write all these poses off when Andrew Jacked is in them. Although, yes, unless he's going against Hattie Shupin, Andrew Jacked, he's going to win this abs and thigh. I would suggest that a little more quad sweep, and yeah, maybe Behrooz could give him a run for his money. But he's getting an easy second. Martin, well, Martin's display's good. Just genetically speaking, you look at their six-packs. Martin Fitzwater's, he's going to be the least impressive out of these three specimens. And that's no disrespect at all. But when you look at Andrew Jacked, maybe the best abs, bodybuilding history, could be close to it. Behrooz no slouch. Here is the most muscular. Who's winning this one, fellas, everybody in between? Who is winning this one? I think when it's this close between Martin Fitzwater, Behrooz Tabani, it is. It's close all around the board. You're going to have to be nitpicky, and you're going to have to say Behrooz has better abs. But if you're a bodybuilding judge, I apologize. I think the first thing that they're going to notice is Martin Fitzwater's edge that he has in the wheels. They're bigger. They're more proportioned with his upper body. So that is a big to-do in this matchup. And then you get Andrew Jacked. He's either destroying these guys, or he's placing third in this lineup. But in my opinion, when I tally up all of the so-called points, if you want to look at it that way, which I don't really, but if you do, nobody's placing third. I have pretty much a tie, or it is a tie, between Andrew Jacked and Martin Fitzwater. And Behrooz Tabani wins this one. I believe that Behrooz, he is doing enough in the poses that he was winning. And I don't think he was losing a whole lot of shots, things of that nature. And that can win you a bodybuilding competition sometimes. So if you're either winning the shots, if you're not going to win them, at least don't place last in all the shots. So Behrooz, on paper now, we're on using pictures. I got him winning this one. And that is a big stretch considering how good Andrew Jacked is. And I got Andrew Jacked tied with Martin Fitzwater, but going through all of the shots, I would have to go with Andrew Jacked because he's just unbelievable in the shots that he is winning. He is winning supremely. Martin Fitzwater is winning on conditioning, and conditioning is important, but keep in mind, Andrew Jacked is not a softie by any stretch of the imagination. So Behrooz, man oh man, look out for this guy come Olympia time. And those three-way matchups, they seem to really hurt this Andrew Jacked, don't they? Placing last due to conditioning from behind. That can really hurt this guy's momentum. So one-on-one, he'd have beat both of these guys. But in those lineups, he might not be Mr. Olympia after all. It's probably why he does so good in the smaller shows. It's a one-on-one situation. And then throw him in a lineup and he starts placing last in those back shots. And just hurts the whole situation. But personally, if you ask me, Olympia time, I get Andrew Jacked beating both of these guys. But that's just me. That's just me. And about 50 million other. Hit thumbs up on the video. Just a fun one. Heading into the Olympia, we're going to be doing lots of these comparisons and lots of prediction videos coming up, perhaps. Still a ways away. But we like to get ready and set before they go to the Olympia. Have a nice one, guys.